Bison Media Zone on WDAY Extra.
Back again for another edition of Bison Media Zone on this Wednesday morning, heading into the afternoon. Sam Getzinger, Eric Bonnell here with you. It's been a very, very, very busy week for the class of 2025. We've been trying to get them on and hear from them as they make their announcements and their commitments to North Dakota State football. And we're very happy to be joined by our first guest, guy who committed back last Friday, running back out of Illinois. Money Miles Mitchell joins us here on Bison Media Zone. Hey, before we get started, we've had this question for you. Is it Miles Money Mitchell or Money Miles Mitchell? Which one do you prefer?
I mean, my coach calls me Money Miles.
Okay.
Miles. I feel like I'm used to that more. But Miles Money Mitchell's not bad as well. So, it's just all practice.
Well, I tell you what, ever since you made the announcement that you're coming to NDSU and people saw that nickname, it's been running up here. It's been gaining a lot of traction. Where did that come from?
It came from my running backs coach when I was a sophomore up on varsity. I always had a nose for the end zone. I used to always get in the end zone as a sophomore on varsity. So he would just start calling me. I get to the money, so Money Miles, and went from there.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they're making T-shirts. I know my co-host Eric's been asking for one so far for the last couple of days. So we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you coming up here to Fargo. And we've been asking all the recruits that we've had on the last couple of days, why NDSU? You're a heavily recruited athlete. What made North Dakota State stand out for you?
I feel like the main thing is definitely the coaching staff and the people around in the program for sure. They really believe in my talent, and they really think I could be a great player at NDSU. They also have great facilities. The town's a great football town. They're all preach football here. The Bison's like the pro team of North Dakota. So, that's also huge. People looking up to the team and the people in the community really buying into the team. So it's just a nice place to be at. And the coaching staff is just, they know what they're doing over there. So that's why I ended up choosing.
Before this whole process started, had you ever been to North Dakota before? Did you ever think you were going to end up in North Dakota later on in your life?
I'm not going to lie, probably not. I didn't know much about North Dakota, like as a state as a whole, not just the football program, but as a whole, North Dakota, I really didn't know much, But really learning and seeing what it was, it's pretty good and something that I would love to be a part of.
Well, if I can give you a little bit of a piece of advice before you get here, make sure you got a solid winter coat. I know you got winters down there, but they're a whole different animal up here.
Yeah, I heard. They talk about getting me fleeces and coats and stuff like that. So, yeah. I'll be prepared. Yeah, it'll be cold in Chicago.
Okay. So make sure you get plenty of stuff to bundle up. Hey, tell me about the last 2 weeks, going from figuring out where you want to go to making the announcement to the aftermath these last couple of weeks, because I know you've been making the rounds on all the media sites around here. What have these last couple of weeks been like for you?
I feel like it's been a big relief, just making that decision and finding somewhere I can call home. Not having to worry about that process anymore in my career. Just worrying about high school football, so my senior season, getting better as much as I can, and preparing to get into that next step when it's there. So I feel like it's just been great the past 2 weeks. A lot of people have been reaching out, so it's a lot of love there in Fargo. So, I feel great.
Coach Polasek has a pretty good history at working with running backs and building them up. What are the conversations been like with him, and now that you're going to go play for him, just your thoughts on that?
He's definitely been a big role in this recruiting process, especially because we got guys at Iowa right now for my school, and when Coach Polasek was at Iowa, he recruited both of those guys. One of them's being a running back, LeSean Williams. He recruited him to go there. So, that means a lot. He saw the talent from my school, brought it to the big level, and he recruited me to North Dakota State. So, he knows what he's doing. LeSean was a great back. For him to recruit him and then recruit me is just means a lot and shows a lot.
What kind of running back are we expecting when you get up to NDSU? I know you're great on the ground, but you can do some damage through the air. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's gonna get an all-around athlete, all-around dog for sure. A versatile guy that can score 70 yards down the field, run or pass. Or I could return kicks. I could run somebody over, make a move. I could do it all. I feel like so. NDSU's just getting a straight dog. He just wants to come in and work.
That's good. That's good to hear. And I'm sure their style of offense really appealed to you too. Pretty ground heavy.
Yeah, pro style offense, ground. Yeah.
Well, good deal. Hey, we're up to 11 commitments right now in the class of 2025. They've been popping off over the last couple of days. Have you been in contact with any of these guys? Or are you familiar with them? What are your thoughts on this recruiting class coming in with you?
Oh yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm fired up. Coach Pulisic does a good job of getting us together. He has a little group chat of the class 2025, and it's growing every day. He's adding new people to the group chat every day. So, we're building that bond early, and this class is just it's amazing, man. And we're getting a lot of good guys from all around. So we're gonna be tough.
I bet you're very excited as a running back to see that you got some big linemen coming in with you too,
yeah.
huh?
We got some guys from Wisconsin, Minnesota. We got some big boys coming up. So I'm excited. I'm fired up.
Well, good deal. You got another year at Richards High School over there. What's the goals? Obviously, state championship is always at the top of the list. But what's your goal for you going into your senior year?
I just want to play the best senior season, that I can possibly play. I want to break records at Richards. I want to break the rushing record, touchdown record. I've gotten all state. I've gotten player of the year. It's all cool. But, at the end of the day, I want to win the state championship for sure. I just want to be the best player I can be for myself, me versus me, be better than I was the day before. So keep pushing myself to do that.
I know a lot of people up here are probably not familiar with the football scene, the high school football scene is like in Illinois. Can you give us a little, how's the competition down there? What's it like playing in the Chicago area?
I feel like it's a lot of competition. It's really competitive, especially crosstown rivalries. A lot of camaraderie with that. So there's a lot. Chicago football it's just different. They're pretty good. There's a lot of good teams in the different divisions. We got 1 through 8A. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8A, of course. So we're in 6A, so we're in a good spot. But there's a lot of good teams, and it's tough. So, a lot of teams, a lot of those coaches are pretty good in our conference and our division. So, yeah, it's a good crowd of football down here.
Well, good deal. Well, Money Miles Mitchell joining us here on this Wednesday morning edition of Bison Media Zone. Appreciate you for coming on. We're pulling for you. Hopefully you can break those records in your senior season and get up here to NDSU and do some damage up here.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir, I'm fired up.
Good deal. Hey, we're fired up to have you too. Money Miles Mitchell joining us on Bison Media Zone. Appreciate him for coming on with us. We're getting a good one. Eric.
Yeah, we're getting a dog. Sounds like.
Yeah.
And just watching the highlight tape, that guy's got breakaway speed.
Oh yes, he does.
He was. I mean, based on what he's telling us, like Chicago, very good football. He's running away from those guys.
Right? Yeah. You saw it in the first clip here. Gets a screen and he's off. He's gone. He's 5'10", 195 pounds. You see the breakaway speed right there. Rushed for 1,300 yards this last season at Richards High School. Had 21 touchdowns in total. Like he said, all-stater. That's great. He wants to do more in his final season over there. This is the first running back committed and recruited by Coach Pulisic, and as he's taking over the reins to this NDSU football team, and it's good. I love the confidence that he's bringing too.
He's coming with a lot of swagger, which if you've seen Coach Pulisic's Twitter lately, it's been a lot of swagger thrown out there. I mean, it's gonna be. We won't know now what this recruiting class is going to do. But in 3 years, we'll really know how good this first recruiting cycle was.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. It's going to take a little bit of time to figure it all out, but never too early to get excited. That's for sure. Never too early. The class of 2025 is up to 11 commitments that have announced. The bat signal's been going off all over social media, so more will join, no doubt about that. We'll talk more about this class of 2025 in just a couple of minutes when we come back on Bison Media. A recruitment-filled edition of Bison Media Zone on this Wednesday morning on WDAY Extra, streaming on Inform.com and on KSFL TV. Dom has the day off. He'll be back for Bison Media Zone next week, so be sure to stick around for that. Very happy to have Money Miles Mitchell on with us just a couple of minutes ago, running back from the Chicago area out of Richards High School. Had 14 Division I offers and chose NDSU. A stud athlete who plans on doing some big things in his senior season. So we'll be sure to follow along with that. The bat signal's been going off on recruits and commitments going into NDSU. It's been going off on social media nonstop for at least the last couple of days, last couple of hours. Right now, the class of 2025 has 11 commitments. One that did announce late last night is a wide receiver out of Tampa, S.J. Green. And this is a big get for North Dakota State. He is the first wide receiver to commit from Tampa. Tampa's been very good to Fargo. Zach Mathis did it back in 2017 from the Tampa area. And S.J. had 5 D1 offers, including one from Indiana out of the Big Ten. 422 yards receiving in his junior season and 5 touchdowns. And what's also interesting, he comes from a football family. His dad, also SJ, elected into the CFL Hall of Fame not too long ago as a wide receiver. And looking at Coach Polisek's Twitter yesterday, very excited about this commit in SJ Green, calling him a deep threat. And we're watching some of the clips here. Love getting wide receivers like this. I think he's going to do big things, Eric.
Yeah, I think so too. And he just, as the clip you just saw, he kind of finds that open zone and just sits there and just looks at the quarterback and looks for the ball. He finds that open hole, which is something that you need on this Bison offense, especially when you get in that 3rd and 8. I know they're going to be grounded pound a lot, but if you get into a 3rd and 8, you need that guy that can just sit and find a zone.
Yep.
And Cam or Cole is going to find you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully S.J. Green can join this lineage of what has been very good wide receivers to come into North Dakota State and come out of North Dakota State and play on at the next level. So he was one of the 11. He's the most recent one who made his announcement on social media not too long ago. We've had quite a few other ones. I'll kind of run you through the list over the last couple of days of who has committed to North Dakota State, one of them being Alex Warden, an offensive tackle from your neck of the woods, Eric, the Green Bay area. This is another big get for North Dakota State. He's going to come in and play offensive tackle. That's a position that he's comfortable with, and he is a stud. First-team All-Stater, 4 FBS offers, and if you just go on his Twitter bio, you'll see a 545-pound squat, which I find very, very impressive. Our sports department was able to catch up with Alex Warden not too long ago, and this was what he had to say on his decision to come to NDSU.
I visit a lot of other schools, and no one else is like really trying to win a national championship. A lot of people are just okay with being maybe a conference championship. Coaches was another big thing. Coach Polisek, when he was at Wyoming, was my first offer.
So you hear it there that Coach Polisek was has been on Alex Warden's list for a while.
And he has 2 former teammates that are playing up here, Nate Forsyth and Josiah Azure.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I butchered your name, but came from Bayport, great town.
Yep.
Couple famous NFL player, Alec Ingold, fullback for the Dolphins right now, played at Bayport High School. So there's some great players that have come out of that high school, just from what I can remember from being back home.
Absolutely. So Alex Warden, an offensive tackle from Wisconsin, joining this class of 2025. They also picked up another guy from Wisconsin. So we're getting this pipeline from Wisconsin back to North Dakota State, and this is that's huge.
That's big. Yeah, it's big to get that pipeline going again. Obviously, Polasek being a Wisconsin guy, Coach Gazer being another Wisconsin guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's North Dakota. You're gonna find your beef North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. That's where you're gonna make your bread and butter.
Right, exactly. Gavin Sell is another guy from Wisconsin who committed over the last couple of days from Baldwin, Wisconsin. Have him listed at 6'3", 200 pounds. Interesting story with him. He didn't have any offers going into this past weekend. He spent the weekend at NDSU's individual camp. He eventually got an offer from North Dakota State and just jumped on it. Also had another offer from Augustana, which is a powerhouse Division II program. And we're seeing clips here of Gavin Sell. And I just peeked over. Dom Izzo has an article out on Gavin Sell now. And he thought maybe wide receiver was the route he was going to go in college, but he will play linebacker. And Eric, you're more versed in this. The level of competition in Wisconsin high school football is pretty good. There's no doubt about that, right?
There's no slumming it once you get into that. I mean, you play in Wisconsin football, you're going to obviously have your teams that aren't super high caliber, but there's a lot of teams. The level in Wisconsin football has just gone up and up.
Absolutely. So Gavin Sell, Alex Warden, the recruits from Wisconsin that are coming in a couple of years in this class of 2025. A couple others want to mention Blake Schiltz, a linebacker from Pine Island. We had him on Hot Mic yesterday. Good conversation with him. Blake says even though he plays linebacker primarily at Pine Island High School, which is in southern Minnesota, he will come to NDSU and transition over into a defensive end role, which is a spot that North Dakota State always would like to bolster up, no doubt about that. And they're getting a freak athlete. Schiltz is 6'3", 225. He missed the entire 2023 season with a torn ACL. And North Dakota State, even though he had that injury, they followed up with him. They made sure he was doing okay, kept with him throughout the entire process. Now he's healthy. He says he's feeling 100%. And he's ready to come to NDSU after his senior year at Pine Island. And he's a pretty good two-way athlete over there, playing all over the field on the offensive side of the ball. You'll see in some of these clips that are coming up. He's an aggressive guy.
Just looks like he's going to bowl people over all the time.
Saw the truck stick there. 25th best player in Minnesota for the class of 2025. Another big get for North Dakota State. And another one, another guy that we had on Hot Mic earlier this week, Walker Broughton, North Dakota guy, a safety out of nine-man football in West Hope, Newburgh. And he is one of the top gets in the class of 2025. He committed a couple of days ago, three-star athlete, one heck of a quarterback, I will say that. But he's going to come and play safety, so we're getting a really good nine-man player here in the state of North Dakota to stay in-state and play at the state school.
Yeah, always, as he said, the best players in the state play at the state school. Or at least he retweeted that.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun to watch him play. We saw he has an arm on him.
He does. So this is a look at the class of 2025, up to 11 commitments. There's going to be plenty more throughout the next couple of days. So be sure to we'll be sure to keep our eyes posted on that and pass them along and try to get them on Hot Mic Bison Media Zone whenever we can. Appreciate you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. Dom is back on Hot Mic tomorrow. He's back on Bison Media Zone next Wednesday as well. Have a good one and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.